Welcome, everybody, back to the Nampa School District Podcast, where we will bring you the latest updates and inside stories from our schools. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you may listen to us. I am Tyler Keefe, the NSC Digital Media Specialist, and alongside me, as always, is my co-host, Matt Sizemore.
That is correct. Hi, Tyler. Thanks. Well put. Thanks for having me, as always. It's been a fun week, and hopefully you all are safe out there. There's a lot of smoke going on right now, a lot of wildfire smoke, and I know the air quality is not great right now, so anybody out there running around and whatnot, be cautious and do what you can to avoid that. But aside from that, we have an incredible guest today. Tyler, as you know, there's two things I love talking about more than anything. Those are sports and activities. And we're going to be talking about both of those today with our awesome guest.
Yeah, so today we are thrilled to have newly anointed, I guess that's the right word you'd say, I don't know, Hall of Famer Todd Cady, the Columbia High School Athletic and Activities Director. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you. Excited to be here today.
Yeah, and Todd, I just found out you have the honor of having the title of Hall of Famer in front of your name. I'm not sure if you tout that around or introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Hall of Famer Todd Cady to everyone. But how did that, tell me a little bit about your background. How did that all come about?
Yeah, well, I'm just very fortunate to have an incredible career coaching wrestling, primarily here in the Nampa School District. And I guess I'm officially an old has-been.
Aren't we all?
When you get appointed a title like that. But I'm very honored that the state of Idaho and the National Hall of Fame selected me for this 2024 Wrestling Hall of Fame class.
That's so awesome. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
So, of course, Hall of Famer on one side, and the other side, you were also the Columbia Activities Director, which is an awesome title, and you get to see a lot of things going on at such a great school. So can you give us a little overview of your fall sports and activities over at Columbia that are going on, or maybe their kids are already participating in?
Yeah, absolutely. So fall seasons officially start August 12th. We are so excited with the work our kids are putting in during this summer, just preparing for the season. Boys soccer, girls soccer are working extremely hard right now. Open fields several days a week, scrimmages against opponents here in the Valley. Football has been grinding from May and every day through camps, 7-on-7 leagues. And right now our volleyball team's in Pocatello, just getting one last tournament in before they wrap up their summer work. Kids are running cross country. They're out there training right now, like you said, trying to pick the optimal times when the air quality is the best, the temperature's conducive for that. But yeah, we've got kids working hard, preparing for this upcoming season, building on what those programs have been doing well over the last few years.
Awesome. All right. So kids already working hard to bring some awesome sports into the fall season. So how about some big achievements from last school year? What are we looking at from last year?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to talk about our dance team. Our dance team has won 3 consecutive state titles.
Wow.
Looking for a fourth. They feel like this next year's team is better than last year's team. So they've been working extremely hard, flying in people to give them their new routines, investing heavily into this 2024-2025 season. Our cheer team is coming off their first ever state tournament appearance. They've been working extremely hard as well. We are returning 2 Coach of the Years from fall sports. Our girls soccer coach, Max Hewlett, was honored with Coach of the Year from his peers. And then Charlie Dotson, Coach of the Year in football, again recognized by his peers. So we're very excited about those 2 programs. Our golf team last year were the academic state champions.
Nice.
So very, very proud of that group. We're currently looking for finalizing a head coach there. We've had a change there. But yeah, our boys soccer program had a phenomenal turnaround last year. So we're just really excited to see what that next step looks like for all those programs.
Awesome.
Now, one thing with that I want to kind of interject, and hopefully I can say this right. Columbia is the baby of the 3 high schools. It's the youngest of the 3.
Correct. Yeah.
And what's really interesting to me is when we think about Nampa High, you have all the rich history, the tradition. When you think of Skyview, they've been around longer, so they're still building all of that tradition and history. Columbia, you guys get to build that now, and it's fun for me to watch because 2 years ago when I first started this position, it's like, oh great, I got to go out to Columbia, and then actually go out there, and I'm like, holy cow. Like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then the change from the first year to the second year in my role of how you guys are building that community, how you guys are getting the families, their support, I should say, them coming out, them building, the tailgating. I've seen that now, which is funny to me to see at high school games, but at the same token, it's awesome. And it all leads up to correct me if I'm wrong, but the Wildcat Blast, which is a huge event that you guys got coming up.
Yeah. So our Cat Blast is our big kickoff. Excuse me. And it is all about building that culture and getting people familiar with our people, our coaches, our activities leaders. So August 14th from 6 to 8, we have the kickoff in front of our school. It is an opportunity to meet the coaches, the players. We're selling gear. We're giving out schedules. We have routines by our cheer squad, our dance squad, and it is a total community building event that will kick us off into the fall seasons. But you're right. Our culture is constantly being worked on. That is who I'm hiring as coaches right now to really build tradition and make Columbia a place that people are proud of and excited to come and support. I tell our coaches all the time, there's a fourth grader out there somewhere in our community that we have to be giving a product where that kid envisions coming to play at Columbia, and I think we're doing a really good job with that right now.
Yeah, and I think it really speaks to some of the, you mentioned coaching and some changes that are happening, but I know that some coaches have had opportunities to leave and go do other things, but they're choosing to stay because of that culture and the stuff you guys are building, which also speaks testament to what's going on. I know just from watching the fans, you can kind of see that change too. Because my first year, I can't remember the coach's name, so I'm not even going to try. But I remember the fans arguing with the coaches, whatever sport it was. As I saw it in basketball, football, even volleyball. And now I don't hear that anymore.
Yeah. Our community support is second to none. They are pushing us to be better. They are supporting us. And anytime you have a community that is willing to push but support at the same time, they're helping us with the added funding we need for some of our projects. They're helping us get kids to camp that normally couldn't afford camp. They're really stepping up, and it is awesome to watch our coaches answer that call, because there's a lot of communities where that parental support isn't there, and like you said, they're butting heads in front of the kids. And I tell our coaches all the time, the dinner table's undefeated, and so when kids go home and they're not hearing good things or support, it's hard for that kid to come back the next day and buy into what the coach is asking. And we are in a place right now where we have the parents that are preaching the same things our coaches are. And when that's happening, success is going to happen.
The dinner table is undefeated. I love that line. That's a great line right there. Todd, kind of on that note, building tradition, having that rich, recent history, I guess you can say, and just building now, like Tyler was saying, incredibly important, of course, not just for the students now, but for future students as well. On that note, from your perspective, you've been around sports activities, those kind of things for a very long time now. You can say that, like you mentioned, as a Hall of Famer of anything related to sports. So how important, from your own perspective, are joining sports and activities for kids?
Yeah, I think that's half of the experience that the students will have when they enter middle school and high school. And I think there's a lot of education a lot of employability skills, soft skills that can be learned through that, but just an enjoyment of competing with your friends, whether that's in our awesome marching band or within our drama program with Glennis Calhoun or our choir program or FFA. I mean, we have so many awesome activities outside of our athletics that there's something for every child at Columbia and really any school. It's finding those adults that can recruit and then retain those kids. But we're tracking data of the kids at Columbia, and we see, my entire career, I've heard the data like, oh yeah, kids that perform in extracurriculars, their grades are up, their attendance is up. Well, this last 3 years, we've been breaking down the kids at Columbia and being able to compare them to their peers that aren't involved. And it is true, it's drastic, and that helps get kids to that point of what I call the starting line. They graduate, and now they're starting life, and we've given them some skills that are going to help them be successful.
Awesome. That's great.
Now, one of the things that really, really kind of impressed me about Columbia, and I don't know if it's directly your doing or the administration at Columbia is doing, but you guys are embracing the live stream. You guys have started to show off. Every year you've done the CESPs, and you guys are embracing that, which is awesome. And it's it's fun for me to watch, just from the technical side of like, wow, they're doing it. But also seeing the kids get all excited that, hey, I got this award. And you guys are celebrating each other. And the kids, mainly, as I say that, have you guys noticed any difference in, you're building that community, like we keep saying, by doing those live streams, the weekly podcasts that Mr. Stern puts out, the CESPs, all that stuff. Have you guys seen a change in how Columbia is perceived or received, I should say?
Yeah, there's a buzz for all those things that we do. The weekly podcast that Mr. Stern does is incredible. He really mixes it up. Kids talk about that in mentoring. Kids have the opportunity to watch those, and it's just good dialogue that is healthy, involving our school. So whenever you can create a buzz that people love to chatter about and just have opinions on is healthy. I know when I took this job, I put out a survey to coaches, former athletes, current athletes, and families, and the biggest thing that came back was recognize and celebrate our kids and what's happening. So we've made a concerted effort on making sure we celebrate weekly, monthly, and then annually with, and I'm going to correct you, it's the Kespies, the Kespi show. But yeah, we celebrate our kids, and there's definitely a change in the vibe and in the way kids chase those recognitions.
Now, with that, the follow-up is, I've noticed that you guys are getting the community involved as well. I'll see this post, and then I see sponsored by so-and-so, and this sponsored by. So how has the community as a whole embraced Columbia? And then what are some things that you might have coming up that you can't share all the details, but partially some of the details to get us a little taste?
Yeah, I think our community is incredible. We've got 3 outstanding traditional high schools, and there's a lot of support in this town, and people want to support winning cultures. Not necessarily a record, but something they believe in. People that are grinding and working towards something positive, and so our community, whether it's mom and pop businesses or corporate businesses, franchises, they're supporting us. They are asking of different ways. How can we support outside of hanging a banner? How can we get money and support to your coaches and your kids where they feel the impact? And so I think it's a true testament of who our coaches are, the expectations and accountability they have for our kids, and those businesses believing in that and wanting to attach and support and allow for our kids to experience something special. And it just takes extra support outside of what I can do through my budget, the Nampa School District can do. It takes a community, and we are lucky. We have the businesses and just the community members involved with our journey.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and thank you to the Nampa community for that support. And we're going to shift gears here as my last question. And as Matt knows, I like to ask a random oddball question that's not even on the list.
All right.
And being a Hall of Famer for wrestling, it kind of triggered my brain a little. And we've seen a certain wrestler in the news a little bit lately. So if you could have any professional wrestler in their prime, and Matt, this is for you as well.
Oh, man.
What would be the ultimate matchup in the ring? And we can do WCW, WWF, whatever. Who would you pick?
Feel free, Ty. That's a tough one.
And if it's only one, we can do an ultimate matchup between the two.
Well, I have a childhood favorite, and it was the Junkyard Dog. And I loved the Junkyard Dog, and I don't think he got the love he deserved back in the day, but I would put him up. Okay. And then, obviously, Minnesota's heavyweight wrestler, Brock Lesnar, came into obviously different weight classes there. So it'd be speed versus power. Would be fun to see how that went. Brock Lesnar, obviously started with amateur wrestling, took a stint in the NFL, and then made a killing in professional wrestling.
But, and UFC, too.
Yeah.
Jeez. What a beast he is.
Yes.
Matt, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Todd, you got me thinking right there. You kind of switched up the matchup I was originally going to say, kind of to your speed versus size thing, was Andre the Giant.
Oh, yeah.
Who, oh my God, I just loved watching him. What a monster. Taking on the Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh.
And I mean, Ultimate Warrior, he wasn't very big, but man, he was fast and strong. But you got me thinking, what about a Andre the Giant versus Brock Lesnar?
Oh, wow.
Man.
Two very large human beings.
Two very large
built very differently.
Yes, exactly. That'd be fun to watch. I think that one I'd rather watch.
See, now I'm going to go more recent history, and with The Rock. The Rock cracks me up. He's just a funny guy. I was going to say Stone Cold, but he's more of a showman than anything else. But I'd love to see The Rock in his prime versus Goldberg in his prime.
Hey, he was like Lesnar-esque as well.
Yep. Yeah.
What a beast. Good question.
So that said, Todd, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to get out there?
We are so excited to get this 2024-2025 school year kicked off. Our activities at Columbia are second to none. They're led by amazing coaches and directors. We got kids that are doing everything that is being asked of them to prepare. And so we're excited to put a product out there that the entire city of Nampa can be proud of. Obviously, when we're playing Skyview or playing Nampa, we're going to be divided, but when we're not playing each other, we really want a product out there that our community can be proud of and just represent the Nampa School District in the best way possible. And it's close. August 12th, right around the corner.
And just out of curiosity, do you know off the top of your head the first event you have of the school year, sports or activity-wise?
Yeah, our awesome volleyball team led by Kathy Curtis has a jamboree August 19th at Columbia where we're taking on the new 6A schools, Rocky Mountain, I believe Meridian's there, and then Nampa Christian's coming in. But yeah, there's going to be 5 schools August 19th at Columbia for our volleyball jamboree.
All right.
Matt, any final thoughts for you?
No, I'm just excited to get out, and obviously with this is going to be my first full school year with the district, and just get out and watch all kinds of sports and activity. I'm excited to see what the Wildcats can do.
Yeah, so are we. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, that wraps up episode 5 of the Nampa School District Podcast. Thank you again for listening. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, I'm Tyler Keefe, and with me as always is...
Matt Sizemore, that's me. Talk to you next time.